Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to this week's edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, alongside Commissioner Rick Diesel is joining me as usual. And how are you tonight, Mr. Diesel?
Good, Matt. I'm good, man. I'm getting ready for Fright Night. It's only a few weeks away, a few short weeks away.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're going to talk about that, but
oh yeah,
that time of year, we all get Fright Night excited.
Yes, we have, and I've already got Halloween decorations up. Since we moved to the super ultra fancy studio back here, you don't get to see my Halloween decorations in the background anymore. But
you're gonna put up any on the show this year?
I was thinking about maybe bringing a pumpkin and carving it, doing something like that. So we'll have a pumpkin.
I'm talking about for this show.
Oh, for this show, you know what? That's a good idea. I hadn't even thought about that. I could maybe move some of the decorations around. And
I got a year-round skeleton back here behind me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not really just Halloween though. That's like there all the time, I believe.
Yeah, it is. That's person waiting on me to get back to him.
Yeah, busy man. Well, so our Zoom, just to update you, our Zoom troubles are continuing. They are, but they have been in contact with me. They're desperate to close the ticket because I'm refusing to let them close it. And I know that IT people, when they've had a ticket open for 3 weeks, their manager and their manager is yelling at them. So I am hoping that we will yield some results and be able to return live. But in the meantime, we're doing what we can do.
So, hey, this ain't so bad.
No.
I'm telling you, I know it may not be a popular opinion, but I like it like this because I can be more involved. I don't have to worry about monitoring the chat board or whatever. We used to call them chat rooms back in the AOL days.
Yeah, chat rooms. Oh Lord, boy. Hey, and people say, oh, the internet's so toxic today. Brother, it was toxic as soon as everybody started to get it. Even in the 90s, you'd go in them message rooms and people would be talking trash and telling who's messing around on their wife. And I mean, it was rough, buddy.
Back then it was interesting. Now it's just sad.
Yeah, it was. I think the new wore off of that pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
But anyway, most of it, everybody uses social media to sell anything, sell stuff now. So I guess we can go ahead and get into the slideshow here if I can find it. There we go. All right, can you guys see the slideshow nice and clear? And you're probably still seeing there we go. All right, so as always, we'd like to remind you as we get started that the AIWF, especially this program, Ringside Wrestling, is putting the headlock on high advertising prices. For just $10 a month, you can get a 30-second to 1-minute read on this program, and it's on all major podcasting platforms. We can even shoot a video commercial for you. We'd be glad to do that for $30 a month and put that on here. But again, we are on all these platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you find your favorite podcast. And now I understand this show, at least one of them, has been loaded up to the Roku channel. I hadn't done a Roku audit because it was race weekend and I hadn't had a chance to do it yet. But yeah, I was happy to see that. So now on the Roku channel as well, folks, you can get your Ringside Wrestling fix just about any.
That bottom logo means something now.
Yes, it does. We'd like to thank everybody that worked so hard on the Roku channel for all their help. And of course, we try to keep it going over there on Instagram pretty well, keep you all up to date with the latest news and happenings and whatnot. All you have to do is head over to Instagram, AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling, approaching 200 followers now, which.
Hey, what do you know about that other thing? What is that other thing?
TikTok.
Yeah, what do you know about that?
I know that Rose Tyson was doing it, but now it seems.
Do you have to do that on your phone?
It's easier, I think, but no, you don't have to. You can get to it from a big a desktop. Yeah,
I have to get me one.
First time I looked at it, because I asked my niece and nephew that live out in Arizona. My niece is going to be a senior in high. I think she's a senior in high school now. And my nephew is like 24 years old. And I said, would it be better to promote wrestling on Instagram or TikTok? And he said, TikTok's for 14-year-old girls. And he said, nobody that's going to be able to spend any money to come to wrestling is going to be there. So that
makes sense.
Yeah. And but I do see there is wrestling stuff on there. If you search wrestling on the search bar, you'll find a bunch of content there. So
I don't have TikTok. I always heard TikTok was gateway to OnlyFans.
No, it's not sleazy like that. But I think some people do promote their OnlyFans on TikTok, but you know, you don't. It's like Las Vegas. You can go there for the gambling and the booze, but if you don't want the sleaze, you can do nice things there too. You know, it's whatever you make it. So,
well, what about Instagram? How's that work?
That's pretty easy. I run that from my phone mostly.
Can't do that from a computer.
Yeah, you can do that with a computer. Yeah, that's I generally.
I don't like doing nothing on my phone but answering phone calls. Screen's too small. I'm old and I can't see the damn thing.
You know, you need to get you a bigger phone. Get you one of these big banger.
Freaking thing takes up my whole hand as it is.
Yeah, but I mean, it fits perfectly. I'm clumsy with phones, so I have to make sure the thing fits like a glove. Because that poor iPhone I had a couple of times ago, I dropped that thing. It's a wonder it lasted the 2 years it took me to pay for it. But yeah, you can do Instagram on the big computer too. It's just easier with your phone because you can take the picture with your phone and immediately upload it, you know, instead of having to email it to yourself and that kind of thing. So, and I know there's young people watching, it's few and far between this day and age in the wrestling business, but if there's young people watching and listening, you might be laughing to hear two old guys discuss the intricacies of Instagram.
Well, see, my thing is why couldn't we upload clips from this show up to it? Like just you know, somebody says something funny.
That's an idea. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just have to figure out how to do it. You know, and we have a lot of funny stuff on this show, that's for sure. Let's see here.
Not so much now that, you know, Bobby Dalton ain't on here as often, but you know, we do what we can.
Yeah, we're going. I really think we ought to take up a collection, and it's called "Buy Bobby a Microphone." So, or
at least the internet.
Yeah, at least the internet. Well, he's way up there in the hills, man. I don't know that the internet coverage is that good, you know. Well,
they bring in sunshine by the truckload up there.
Yeah, he's way back in the hills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what first time I heard about Grundy, Virginia. That's what somebody said, they had to pump sunshine in there because it was so far back in the hills.
That's it, man. Bobby's far back in the hills. He'll look at a dog and say, wearing blue jeans and say, "You look mighty fine in them jeans."
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Yeah. Oh boy. If you had to
bring your chicken to the sock hop.
That makes me think of
if it had socks.
Yeah. Anyway, Premier Auto Detailing, our newest sponsor here on AIWF Ringside Wrestling.
They've been kicking it the last couple of weeks.
Have they?
Busy. Yeah.
Good. Well, if you head over there, tell them you heard about them on AIWF Ringside Wrestling. We'd appreciate it. They can make that old jalopy look like it just rolled off a showroom floor. No, they can't transfer a 73 Pinto to a 2022 Corvette, but they can shine it up showroom new. All you have to do is give them a call, 336-883-5722. That number again, for those of you listening in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina, is 336-883-5722.
They've been so busy, you can say they've cleaned up a whole pot of Pintos.
They've cleaned up a whole pot of Pintos. Nice. Oh, mercy. Premier Auto Detailing. So thank you so much for sponsoring the program. Also, another sponsor we have with us is Tees Creations Custom Apparel. They are a t-shirt, sweatshirt, and hoodie printing.
Sweatshirt, not sweatshop.
Sweatshirt, yeah. So they're owned and operated. Everything, all the work's done here in the United States.
Yes, sir.
You know,
we are not Martha Stewart.
Yeah. Or just about any other clothing manufacturer these days.
We're certainly not Nike.
But I'll tell you what, if you ever buy linens or blankets and it says made in Egypt on there, you're going to love them. I don't know what they do in Egypt to make them so soft, but
that's that cotton. It's that Egyptian cotton, man.
Oh, is it? It's incredible. So I know Conan O'Brien went over there one time and was did a piece about how they dye the colors and all that kind of stuff. They do everything old school over there. It's like all done by hand and everything. So
well, I don't know how much technology they have over there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They might have to. Don't they? Do they by chance still wash their clothes on rocks?
I don't know.
I've never been, so I don't know. You've been a lot closer to it than I have.
I don't know about that. Where I was at was completely on the other side of the planet. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the Pacific Ocean's really big.
Yeah, that's right. You went the other way, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because Egypt's over there. Egypt literally is part of Africa.
Yeah.
People don't like to admit that, but it is.
It's Northern Africa. Yeah. It's right there.
It's like part of it's in Africa, part of it's in the Middle East. It's bizarre. Egypt is a bizarre geographical located country.
Oh, you know, it's funny that other country like that is Libya. That's also in Africa, but part of the Middle East. You know, it's crazy like that. But as you can see, Tees Creations, they can custom make just about any kind of t-shirt for you. They've got some ready-made designs also on their website. It's teescreations22.com. or you can visit them on Facebook. Just search Tees Creations. But the best place to go is that website, teescreations22.com, and check them out. It's going to be just some fantastic designs. And if you need something custom made, like you're having a family reunion or
hang on a second, man. I'm getting a phone call.
It's time to check in with Trista.
No, it's not Trista this time. Hello.
Oh my God, you're on one.
Yes, I am. How can I help you, Miss Ginger?
I forgot to my balloon phone, I think.
You've lost one of your phones. She has more than one phone. Do what?
The game phone I play games on.
Oh, she has lost her phone she plays games on.
Oh no, that's not good.
She is one of those privileged white girls.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's already tried calling it.
Laying in there somewhere, but I guess you can't leave your post.
Well, I'd rather not leave my post than we are filming a show here. But I'll look as soon as I go off the air. What do I do if I find it?
Well, you can bring it over to me if you want to, but
I don't want to.
Come back to the house right now.
Oh, you didn't ready to turn around and come back?
Well, I just stopped at here for our funeral.
Oh, okay. See, she's privileged, but she's also a little redneck.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a tad.
Just a tad. So, yeah, you might have to come back because I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Wow.
What? Matt, do you mind if I go look, see if I can find? Will you talk to Matt till I get back?
Go find that phone.
Talk to her, Matt, till I get back. I'm going to look for the damn phone.
Okay. Boy, I'll tell you what, we are setting new lows in podcast history tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But we got the commissioner's better half.
I can't talk.
You can't talk. Well, I mean, they can hear you. I was just about to ask you how you've been doing, all that good stuff.
I'm looking.
I think we just heard Rick Diesel yell, "I love you" from a distance, which is very interesting. But Ginger's a little camera shy. She's not a showbiz person like we are. She got that in common with my wife.
Because I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Swear to God. I looked on beside the couch, on that stand, beside the bed, on that stand. Would you have been playing games on the toilet by chance?
See, that's where I usually find mine, is in the bathroom. Mm-hmm.
You want me to go look beside the toilet?
No, I'll just come back and look.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I tried. Bye.
I was telling the audience while you're away that's usually where I find mine, in the bathroom. If I can't find it, that's usually where.
What has our real wrestling show become, Matt?
I don't know. Search for a phone. I mean, I told the audience we're hitting new lows with the direction this
I
show's
made up my
going.
mind. Somebody calls me during the damn show. I don't care who it is. My mama can call me. I'm gonna answer the freaking thing because they're entertaining.
It is. It's interesting. It's interesting. And remember this show way back in the Cable 6 days, it was all about the phone calls. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we do have a phone number. I don't know if I've got it on the slideshow, but nobody's watching this live, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It
All
don't
right.
matter.
Fright Night is coming your way October 29th. For
But
those
if
of you-
anybody wants to call in, we can always they can always contact Matt or myself on our
Mhm.
Facebook page. We can let you know when we're going to film it, and you can call in. We can have some surprise phone call from you too.
yeah, there you go.
We'll give you the number and everything.
Yeah,
I just find the damn phone. I don't know what I'm done with.
just shoot us a message and we'll put that on. But anyway, Fright.
Let's give Talk About Wrestling a shot. What do you say?
I think so. Yeah. Or we could discuss, poor Viserys passing away this week on
Who?
Viserys passed away this week on House of Dragon.
Oh, dude, that was one of the most. I don't know. That was a very dramatic death.
Who, Viserys?
Yeah. He went down. I mean, just the way he went down. I mean, I felt so sorry for him.
I did too. I've been watching Game of Thrones since 2009, and every king has been a miserable bastard on that show. And then we get Viserys, and we get him for what 8 episodes, and now he's gone. So
Loses an eye. I don't give a shit. I'll spoil it for you.
Yeah, lost his eye. But you know what? One of the showrunners said that they wrote it. They're kind of finagling it with it. He wants to work it.
He's here.
Is that why the dogs are barking? Yeah, but the showrunner said that what he's doing is like if the Iron Throne cuts you, it's going to give like any character that the Iron Throne cuts moving forward is going to get that leprosy like Viserys got. If the Iron Throne cuts you, it's like an incurable disease, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But
that's pretty cool.
Anyway, thank you.
Wrestling.
Yes, Fright Night is coming your way October 29th. For those of you who are NASCAR fans, might as well swerve it again. That's Martinsville race weekend.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it is.
Damn it, Martinsville, change your freaking date.
Well, I was trying to get you guys to move the wrestling show, but I'm making arrangements this year. But anyway, that's coming up Saturday, October 29th. Bell time is at 7:30.
She's yelling at the dogs.
It's Veterans Park in Mount Airy. Tickets regular price is $8 for the floor, $6 for bleachers. It shows you how dependent we are on our phones now. That's
just her gaming phone. That's not her making phone calls phone.
Really? I don't know. I wonder why she's so frustrated by that.
Well, keep in mind her shoot job is that she sits with a lady who just turned 100 years old,
mm-hmm.
and she sits with her overnight. So I'm assuming she needs something to do.
Yeah.
Because it's just like sitting there with Viserys.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
You can come on in. Come on, you done started it now. Oh, God. Hang on, man.
I love you. See ya.
Wow, this show is gone off the rails. We got a dog appearance. Look at the dog. We got dog action for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, when we would put Bob Sharp's dog on Star News, it would cause our viewership to go up. People love dogs on TV. They absolutely
This is
love.
Zoe.
Hello, Zoe.
This is the dog that Trista claims I stole from her. But I didn't. I traded her a goddamn 4-wheeler for it.
Well, I mean, that seems like a fair trade, a dog for a 4-wheeler.
Well, and she has to bring the dog to me when she leaves, because if she don't, the dog has a panic attack.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so she's gone now. I can get rid of the dog.
Okay.
Go find her. What the hell has happened to the show?
I don't know, man. That's off the rails. There's no saving it now.
We're off the rails down through the goddamn woods into a tree by now.
Yeah, that's all right. So, all right.
Maybe Clara can save us.
maybe she can, but my hopes aren't too high right now. Finally, the interview I did with her a few weeks ago aired on the AIWF Mid Atlantic Facebook page, where she addressed the lack of challengers for her AIWF Mid Atlantic Championship. Clara was in action at another promotion show in Gastonia last weekend at the AML show, where she took on Ella Envy and actually lost that match. Because, well, you know, Ella Envy's quite the experienced and crafty veteran. But it makes me wonder if Clara is ripe for the picking right now, Rick Diesel, because she has issued an open challenge for Fright Night. Now, the last time she did,
Ella Envy accepts the challenge, she'll have an issue. But, you know, on a side note, for the sadistic turd that went on the Mid Atlantic page and wanted Rose Tyson to go take that title from her, Rose Tyson hasn't finished training yet. And Clara is a professionally trained wrestler and MMA fighter. So I don't know what Rose Tyson done to piss you off, but I don't, but you know, let's not get her killed.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Clara would rip her head off. You know who Clara trained in wrestling with, don't you? You don't? Okay, well, let me let you know. She trained under Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that.
So that's no joke. I did not
WWE feller.
Yeah.
Pritchard Jacobson. That's Kane, brother. That's Kane's school.
Yeah. And if anybody doesn't know about Dr. Tom Pritchard, I would just refer you to Georgia wrestling in the 80s. I would refer you to Smoky Mountain. That's where I discovered Dr. Tom Pritchard, and I have never
look up the Heavenly Bodies.
Yep, they came out to Frankenstein by ELO, I believe, when they were the first incarnation of the Heavenly Bodies was Dr. Tom and Sweet Stan Lane, and then when Stan Lane retired, what was it? Gigolo Jimmy Del Ray took over.
Yes,
and they were partners for a long time until the Rock and Roll Express beat them in a loser leaves SMW match, and the Heavenly Bodies went to WWE and had to run up there for a little while. So,
and Tom Pritchard stayed on backstage.
Yep, and he became
for years
Zip after that. Remember, he and Skip were partners, and he cut his hair and he became Zip. But yeah, Dr. Tom is no slouch. If you the man is one of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. So you come through his school, that says something. So. But anyway, Clara's going to issue an open challenge, and we were talking on Instagram today, wondering out loud to the fans, is this going to be like what she did during the fair? She came out, issued an open challenge during the fair, and ended up grabbing Ricky, the Mid Atlantic ring rat, throwing him in the ring, smacking him around a little bit, pinning him. You know, it was kind of a farce. And so I'm hoping we don't see a repeat of that at Fright Night.
Especially considered that Ricky the Ring Rat is scheduled to be there to hand out candy to the kids for Fright Night.
Yeah, we're having a trunk or treat before Fright Night, just so you know. It's from 4 to 6.
Yeah, I think so. Right there at Veterans Park. That reminds me, I got to get a costume for this year.
I don't have one this year. Every time I bring a costume to AIWF, it gets stolen from me by one Kevin Phoenix. So, you know, I'm just gonna stand back.
If I get my hair growed out a little more, I can go out. I can go as a 2020, you know, year 2020 Ron Jeremy. I don't know if I'm fat enough, but
Ron Jeremy. Oh, he was such a, he was a staple on VH1 in the early 2000s, was he not? You know,
yes, he was.
I'm telling you. Oh, mercy. All right. So anyway, so Clara, we'll see what Clara's got to do. She gave an interesting interview. She said she just hadn't had any challengers. And to be honest with you, she's right. I mean, she didn't tell any lies in that interview. Go check it out over on the Mid Atlantic Wrestling page. But you know, it's aggravating for me. I was so happy when the Mid Atlantic Women's Championship came to be a thing, but you know, now we got Clara in here, and I don't know if people are just scared of her or what it is.
Well, you know as well as I do, we're really old school in the Mid Atlantic. Women's titles mean more now than they did years ago, but it's still hard to have a whole lot of competition in a women's division in the indies without having the same girls over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And
you know, it takes time. It's like, it's kind of, hey, Moolah was champion for 27 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. And you had to call her weeks in advance to get her girls, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. And for anybody, so there's probably some people out there going, yeah, well, Moolah did this, Moolah did that. All those things that they said Moolah did have pretty much been refuted. And, you know, you should really keep your mouth shut about somebody who passed away in 2006. It's not here to defend themselves anymore. So I just putting that out there. So anyway, we'll see what happens with Clara come Fright Night on October 29th. Another sponsor we have here for the program. Let's pay some more bills real quick. Then we're going to get back into some more compelling wrestling conversations.
We'll try.
RNC, I ain't got much hope, but we're going to try.
Nice.
Bill Pauley is sponsoring our segment here because he's been disabled his whole life. I mean, I always heard he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that because he had a disability. He's been in the wrestling business for 14 years, he says, and has done it all. And he's starting over as a referee now because he wants to show anybody that with a disability that you can do whatever you like in this country, and you don't need to pay attention to people who tells you can't do this and you can't do that. And so we are featuring, and we have been for a while because they're such a good organization, arcnc.org. That's arcnc.org. They're the ARC of North Carolina. They offer services for persons with disabilities. And of course, you can donate money to help them out. But they have all kinds of programs and services. They're out of Raleigh. They're out of the state capital, but they are arcnc.org. That's arcnc.org. So if you know anybody with a disability or you yourself have a disability and would like to get more information about the services they offer, please reach out to them at the website. Again, one more time, that's arcnc.org. Also, our first sponsor, Branch Management, love them to death. They have been with us since the beginning. Well, not since the beginning, but pretty close to the beginning. But they are a tree service in the Mount Airy, Surrey County area of North Carolina. They can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, and complete tree removal. They offer very competitive rates and free estimates and are here to serve you. You may also be eligible for a $100 referral bonus. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 336-648-9282 or 336-320-8994 for more information or to set up an appointment. That's for the tree service now. And they also do pressure washing, general landscaping, that type of work. And you can call them at 336-648-2487. That's 336-648-2487 for the landscaping and pressure washing, and tell them that you heard about them on AIWF Ringside Wrestling. And all right, Rick Diesel, this past Saturday night, WWE was in Philly. They had their big special on Peacock, and something that the whole wrestling world's been buzzing about happened. Look who's back. Bray Wyatt has returned.
I've seen the pictures of that, but I'm more curious about why it was on Saturday.
They started doing the pay-per-views on Saturday now, which I absolutely love, because you can stay up late on Saturday night.
Do you think when's AEW do theirs?
Sunday.
You think that's why they moved them to Saturdays?
I don't know. I don't think AEW is any real competition for them because they're on Peacock, and
AEW is still basically pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I think that's more an NBC call, I think, to get more eyeballs on it.
Could be. Needed Saturday night programming.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. We've been fortunate we hadn't run into any problems with them running shows the same weekends we do. I'm sure at some point that's going to happen. But
I hate this picture caught Bray Wyatt flipping the switch on the lantern.
Well, it happened so fast, at the end of the show, because they've been teasing it for weeks, and like they showed all the Firefly Funhouse people around the arena, and then he came on screen real quick, and he said, I can't even remember what he said. It was something real menacing, and then the lantern went out, and so hopefully he's going to show up on Raw, and we'll see what happens with that. But Bray Wyatt back in WWE, so let's see what kind of havoc he can create. He's a fun guy. Daniel Cormier was the special guest referee in the
Who's
main.
that? Why does he look familiar?
He's a former UFC champion.
Well, he went to shit, didn't he?
Well, I don't know. He's kind of always looked like that. Well, I mean,
Really?
Well, I mean, he's got a little.
They have a dad bod division in UFC now?
Well, I mean, yeah, but he was in his prime like 10, 15 years ago. So
Okay,
he's retired now. He's a commentator. But yeah, he's fought all the fights he's gonna fight. It's time to relax and eat some hamburgers now. So
Good for him.
Yeah.
Why is there no ropes on the ring? So I don't watch these pay-per-views. I'm always so busy.
This is what they call a fight pit match. It's something new. It's basically
like cage match to me.
It is a cage match with no ropes, and the only way you can win is by submission or knockout. So,
kind of like Daniel, kind of like Brian Danzig and TX back in '98.
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah,
Just curious.
Yeah, it's called a fight pit. They have a terrace that goes around the top of the cage, you know, that you can climb up on and fight.
Terrorist. You like drop bombs on them?
No, like a terrace, like a
terrace.
walkway.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know any other way to describe it. You know, it's like another level. You can climb up there. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you can walk up there. And
I think it'd be better if I had somebody out there dropping bombs on them.
Well, they tried that in AEW and it didn't work. You know, they tried to blow up the ring. Remember that disaster? But anyway, Riddle ended up winning the match. So it's a cool look. I liked it because it's something different. They've had it in NXT before, but I had never seen it. And so I thought it was different. It was something.
What is that cage? Is the cage in sections? It's like that little thing right there, and then more cage above it. I see.
Yeah, and you can climb up on that thing. It's really neat. It's something different, and you know it's hard to invent new things in wrestling these days.
I know it.
And so
we pulled it off a lot though.
Oh yeah. But I mean, this is really. I got to give them credit, man. It's really cool. Like to see the way. The thing I noticed about the way it's lit, see those lights that are hanging so low that they're actually mounted to the cage.
And the white lights?
Yeah, that's the
can lights. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like mounted to the cage, or they didn't have to. They didn't, you know, they have that big ring above the. Anybody goes to live wrestling, you know, they have a big rig above the ring where all the lights are on, so they didn't have to lower it, you know, to obstruct the view of the fans or whatever. But it's just. Like I said, if you got Peacock, go out of your way to look at it. It was really a cool look, and it was something different. And Daniel Cormier was refereeing it like it was a UFC fight, which, you know, if you've watched wrestling for years, you know, whenever they bring in these special guest referees from other sports, it almost always ends in disaster. Case in point, Starrcade 84, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair had Joe Frazier as the referee, and he stopped a wrestling match in the 80s for Dusty losing blood, you know, and Ric Flair walked out with $1 million, you know, and so I don't know if Dusty said he was going to catch him in an alley somewhere after that, but yeah, this thing normally didn't work out, but Daniel Cormier, you know, pulled them off each other a couple of times, but you know, he tried to maintain law and order the best he could in a no DQ match, but anyway. So congratulations to Matt Riddle. His man's on he's got
good. He got the winner's purse. Made the little bastard can buy him some boots now.
Oh no, I think he's going straight Kevin Von Erich until they make him stop or he breaks an ankle one.
I hope he breaks his ankle. I can't stand wrestlers that wrestle barefooted.
Really? Why?
Peeve of mine since Jimmy Snuka.
Really? Why?
I liked Snuka when he wore boots in the NWA, and then when he went barefooted, I was done with him.
Well, see, that's odd because usually it's the other way around. Usually they go barefooted first and then something happens. Like Rusev, he wrestled barefooted at first and then he like turned his ankle or something like that and he went to boots. But
well, Jimmy Snuka wore boots first. And Matt Riddle, when he turns his ankle, I hope it breaks his ankle all the way up to his knee. I got no respect for people who wrestle barefooted.
Why not?
I wouldn't even talk to Mickey Falk for 3 months, hardly.
Because he
went through that phase. Crusty old goddamn gnarly ass feet hanging out there. No, thank you.
You know who wrestled barefooted? that was a very dangerous man, or two very dangerous men for many years, was Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, Roman Reigns' father and uncle.
Didn't like Antonio Roca either. None of them. God dang gnarly toed bastards.
Well, yeah, I would never say that to Sika with him being in range of being able to punch me. That's for sure. Even
You can't
now,
catch me.
even
I'll
now.
have a heart attack and die before he catches me.
Yeah, I loved Sika ever since he tried to eat Jake the Snake's Damien on Saturday night's main event. That was awesome. Most people were scared of that snake, not Sika. No, he shows up with a giant loaf of a hero sandwich bun that's about 5 feet long and a giant tub of mustard. And he was ready to go.
He's seen it as a meal. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Let's see here. Okay. Tease Treats. So we get one more ad in, our most delicious sponsor. Tease Treats is a local food truck service that operates out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, that is available in most parts of the state and can be at multiple locations at the same time. They have a full menu, including hot dogs, not hamburgers anymore, but barbecue, chicken, milkshakes, ice cream, many varieties of funnel cakes, and now feature mini donuts.
And pizza.
And pizza. And pizza. How is that pizza? Have you tried it yet?
It's good. It's thin crust, but I mean, a lot of them in food trucks like that is thin crust because it's hard to find the rising crust pizza, dough that's already made into a pie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you want to get a dough ball and do it yourself, that's fine, but nobody has time to do that in a pizza truck.
Yeah, no
or in
kidding.
a food truck. So, you get what you get, but it's still really good.
Good. So I'm glad. I hope it's doing well for you guys. But yeah, Tease Treats, when it comes to delicious quality as well as reasonable prices, you cannot beat Tease Treats. You can find out more information about Tease Treats at facebook.com/Tease Treats, or you can give them a call at 336-755-8204. That's 336-755-8204. Rick Diesel, what type of events does Tease Treats have lined up for this week?
This week, let's see. Thursday, we're going to be at Veterans Park from like 2 to 7. They're going to be there because the Autumn Leaves Festival's this weekend in Mount Airy, and they're going to be feeding the vendors. But you are allowed to come through. So what they do is they bring in the vendors and they stage them at Veterans Park, and they send them downtown in order. So it's not total chaos down on Main Street.
Gotcha.
So they called Tease Treats in to feed the vendors because they're going to be there for 7 or 8 hours waiting their turn. So that's that. And then Friday, I think it's AutoZone on 601 in Mount Airy from probably 11 until dark, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then Saturday, Sunday, it's a huge soccer tournament in Winston-Salem.
Wow. Those Tease Treats all over the place. Busy bees, that's for sure. So be sure you give them a call, folks, if you want to find out where they're going to be or have them come set up at your place of business. 336-755.
If you're watching this after the week of October 13th through the 16th, 2022, you missed us.
All right. So once again, let me give you their number one more time for those people listening. 336-755-8204. Oh, today's Eddie Guerrero's birthday. So yes, Eddie would have been 55 today. So happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero.
True legend. Legends never die, brother.
That's right. And
that is not Eddie Guerrero.
No, this is not Eddie Guerrero, but it will have an Eddie Guerrero connection, I promise you.
Okie dokie.
This is Edge and Finn Balor in an I Quit match from this past Saturday night in Philadelphia at WWE Extreme Rules. And the reason I show this is because that's just like a Canadian to try to choke you out with a hockey stick to the mouth. I mean, this yeah, so Edge went up against Finn Balor, and on paper I was just like, I don't know, but it ended up being my favorite match of the night. It was so much emotion involved. I mean, they really took you on an emotional roller coaster. This match, they brawled all outside the ring. Of course, then the whatever that group is, it's with Finn Balor. God, why can't I remember their name? I heard it 1,000 times Saturday night. But their group constantly interfered in the match. Damian Priest, there you can see Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic. There's your Eddie Guerrero connection. And Rhea Ripley was out there at ringside too. She actually handcuffed Edge to the ropes. And Rey Mysterio came down there, and look at that. Dominic Mysterio has just turned to pure evil. He beat up his poor daddy with his bad knees right there at ringside. I mean, beat him so bad that we didn't see Ray anymore, and the match kept going for like 10 more minutes. And there you can see Edge handcuffed to the ropes. Well, his wife, Beth Phoenix, came to the ring, got him unhandcuffed, had a showdown.
I love that picture. Her feet's hovering above the mat.
Yeah, she was hot, man. She was hot. She was bouncing. And she had a showdown with Rhea Ripley. Edge kicked Dominic in the balls.
Oh, I thought he kicked Rhea Ripley in the nuts there for a second.
Rhea did take a couple of hard shots. He speared her one time, I believe. So Rhea's no slouch.
Could have kicked her in the nuts.
I don't know if that would have worked, but anyway.
I don't know that it would.
Yeah, you don't know until you try,
You've
right?
seen her.
Yeah, she's a big girl. Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to tell you, you made me think of somebody else that I am not gonna mention on the air. And I bet you if you think about who I'm thinking about, you know who I'm talking about.
You seen that picture on Facebook, didn't you?
I may have, yeah. But anyway, some people are not too bright. But anyway, Edge get Dominic. This is payback for what happened at the other pay-per-view when Dominic turned on him. But it was all downhill from there for Edge because they got Edge. They stretched him out, beat him half to death, held him up. Rhea Ripley threatened to give Beth Phoenix the concerto unless Edge said, "I quit." So he did say, "I quit." And then Rhea Ripley smashed Beth Phoenix.
How did Marilyn Manson get in the match there on the right?
That's Rhea Ripley.
See? What did I tell you?
Anyway, so when she's not, she looks like a regular girl when she doesn't have all that stuff on. I'm telling you, I've seen pictures of her on Twitter. When
I have before she cut her hair.
Yeah,
she looked good.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can't tell her and Dominic apart. They look like twin boys.
So anyway, Rhea ended up smashing Beth Phoenix's head like a watermelon anyway. So it didn't do any good. Then it beat up
what?
A watermelon.
Damn you, Jackie Anderson.
I was thinking about that today, how the After Mags refused to publish those pictures, you know.
They did, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, but it wouldn't matter here because of the context. But the context that we had it, they just freaked Pro Wrestling Illustrated out, man.
Well, it was pretty bold for the time, and we were definitely pushing the bar with that angle. I think if we'd have been on television in a bigger market, we'd have probably caught some shit for that.
Yeah, that might have got us canceled.
Yeah, even back then. But should we tell the fans a story now that we mentioned it? So Jackie Anderson, for some reason, they took a strong
Town, North Carolina.
Yeah, Poptown. He took a strong disliking to Sweet Daddy, and was calling him all kinds of bad names. I mean,
and they're both AIWF Hall of Famers now.
Yes, they are. But let me just say that Jackie was letting the N-bombs fly and making accusations about white women and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty damn racist. So Jackie attacked him in Poptown and made sure photographers were there. He set it up. The photographers came out right before it happened. I mean, it was a setup. It was a trap all the way, just like Star Wars. Luke, it's a trap. And they attacked Sweet Daddy from behind, beat him down until he was unconscious, and then dumped a bucket of KFC over his head and then smashed a watermelon on his head. And we sent the photos to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and rightly so, they refused to publish.
They flat refused, boy.
Yeah.
No, sir. We are not going to post those pictures of that poor man getting beat up with a watermelon. No.
They are still
almost had a heart attack over there.
Do you still have those in the archive somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally.
Yeah, I know the archive is 30 years old.
I'm sitting right here looking at probably several hundred pictures that I really need to go through and archive in like a photo album. And you can see them, Matt. Look here. Let me see how far they can take us here.
All right.
All right. Let's see.
Maybe
can you see in that corner see that corner right there next to the blue wall?
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Yeah.
That is a tote, and it's overflowing, and a photo album that is almost full of pictures from like the 90s.
30 years of memories.
But, you know.
Oh man, you know,
I got more stuff here that I know what to think. I mean, this is just that's whole wrestling corner over there.
Yeah.
Pictures and videos, and you know, I've got look right here. Right here is just 2 of the external hard drives that we have. It's full of stuff.
Wow.
So remember I was telling you about that little thing I wanted to do about showing matches and just sitting talking about the stories behind them.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I got. I mean, you know, like I said, I got a drawer right over here with like three more external hard drives.
Yeah, we need to start doing
that's
that.
not including the album, the DVD album I have that has all the old Martinsville shows archived on it.
Yeah, I know. I would love to be able to get those things, man, into a hard drive and get them out there on the internet so everybody can enjoy them. You know, I mean, hell, that's what the internet's for, man. You know, for so that's the best use of the internet besides work that you can do is put old wrestling videos on there and new wrestling videos. So but yeah, I'd love to get going on that. It's just, you know, with our schedules being the way they are, at least mine for the next few months, you know, I'm working a late shift till like 11 o'clock at night every night.
You start or finish then?
I finish then. That's my end time. Hey, I start at like 2:30 in the afternoon and go to 11.
At least you're not, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning with some, you know.
No, I had one of those.
Going,
man, I did an IT position at this company in Charlotte. Doesn't exist any longer. And I'm not going to name them, but it was awful. I had to work the 3rd shift. And it was awful. Paid good, but it was just awful. The calls that you had to take in the middle of the night from India and these other places, man, and the way they talk to people, just it was rough, buddy. So I'm glad I don't have to do that. But hey, so anyway, let's stop talking about boring stuff like that.
Yeah, because this has literally become the AIWF almost wrestling ringside show.
Almost. We touched on a little.
It really went everywhere tonight.
I mean, we had a dog, we had Ginger as a guest star, whether she wanted to be or not. We talked about poor Viserys passing away on House of Dragon, or Hot D, as George Martin calls it. And let's see, since we're so far off the rails, fuck it. How about now we know how Mordor came into existence on Rings of Power?
I seen that too. Hey!
Here we go. Trista's here.
No, Tim Dolan.
Oh, let's see what he's got to say.
Go ahead, Tim. You're on the air. Oh, he's at a gas station. Hang on a minute. God dang, it's been a great show tonight.
It has.
Oh, no, here, I got to mute that. I can't be on the air for that. I'll call you back. Call me when you get off the air.
Oh, damn it, Tim. All right.
Well, all right, I'll call you back. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Well, you know, Tim Dolan in his entire wrestling career has done nothing to entertain the fans of this sport. So, but just, I'm joking, Tim. I've been told I got to watch.
He was a hell of a ring announcer for a while.
Yes, he was, and very enthusiastic about the sport. I will always remember the night that I found out I was going into the Hall of Fame, because I had the camera and Tim was making the announcement, and I actually heard the news from him, and it was like one of the best nights of my life. So I'll never. I honestly think that the night I found out was almost better than the actual night that I went in. You know, it's such an honor, man, because I'm the only person I know, well, except other AIWF Hall of Famers, that's in a Hall of Fame. Like, you know, I could go to Charlotte Motor Speedway and sit there with 80,000 of my closest friends and know for a fact that I am probably the only person in any wrestling Hall of Fame in that entire audience. So
There you go.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah.
And it's not just one of these fly-by-night Hall of Fames, you know, that just does it for the hell of it. This Hall of Fame's been around since 2006.
Yes, it has.
Oh, what is it? 18 years? 16 years?
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's 22 now.
16 years.
15, 16. Yeah, something like that. Now we're doing math. So,
This is a very educational show.
Yeah. Like I told you about, I've been doing.
Hey, lean back. Are you wearing a Tennessee Violence Authority shirt?
Yes, I am.
Go, man.
Yeah, I try to do that, but yeah, and and of course the banner that Joey Nugs provided us here at the studio in the background. We've spared every expense to. Hey, something though. There's a gal that I used to work with over in the Philippines who hosts a podcast similar to this one, except she covers soccer, which they call it football over there. But she's not having any trouble with her Zoom. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going on.
Don't let it get to you. I'm telling you, man. Me and you sitting here just like this is entertaining. I'm more engaged. I'm not having to deal with the message board. And don't get me wrong, the guys, they done a big part of the show, and they'd be welcome anytime if we just fix them in. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean scary there, man.
Well, you did kind of make the audio things.
Oh, okay.
Go way up.
But yeah, I get loud sometimes. But I mean, just me and you sitting here talking, and if Brian was here, him, just 2 or 3 people sitting and talking, I think it makes it look. Hey, Tim Dolan's back. Hey, Tim.
There, I called back.
You did. Me and Matt, God bless, me and Matt is filming the show tonight because he's having Zoom issues, and so we're having to record it. And this has been the weirdest show. Ginger called in looking for the phone. She plays Game Zone. And I had to literally take time and go through the house and look for this phone. Then she comes back to find the phone, brings a dog in here and gives it to me. We've been on the air almost an hour, and I bet we've had 10 minutes of wrestling.
Yeah. We were just getting ready to move on to the Rings of Power.
That's pretty sad, actually.
We've talked about the Game of Thrones, and I mean, this has been the most bizarre show we have ever done. But you would have sat
there with me with the guy going, well, I know you were on vacation last week, but are my shirts done yet?
Is that what he done?
Yeah.
He knew you was on vacation, but he won't know if your shirts was done.
Yeah, and if I got a text where you added on, I said, did you see them while I was on vacation? Yep. Nope, sure didn't get it.
You actually left a message that said, "Don't screw with me. I'm on vacation."
Yeah.
Well, verbatim.
And I legit had 2 days of no internet or cell phone service at Disney.
That's a blessing these days.
It was out. My overline was cut.
Wow.
So I guess I'm still not getting all my messages through either. But
he was like Kitty Hawking out on the Outer Banks.
Yeah, Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, he was miserable out there the whole time.
Yeah, but that's what you go to Kitty Hawk for, is to get away from the internet.
We're oceanfront, it's not bad, but this year just wasn't feeling it.
I got you. All right. Well, I think we got to wrap the show up, so I have to call you back afterwards. We're coming up on the top of the bottom of the hour. Matt usually explains to everybody which hour that is, but I'll call you back when the show's over. How's that?
All right, buddy.
See you, man.
Tim Dolan still doing
Tim
work.
Dolan, he runs a t-shirt business out of West Virginia.
Yeah.
And he's doing really good. I think he's got 2 locations now.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought the business from a moron and just blew up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the guy he bought it from couldn't get it out of his basement. Tim took it, and within a year had like 2 locations.
Yeah.
Booming business, doing good. But Tim's good with graphics and people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he knows how to talk to people. That is a rare thing these days. He really does. He's got the gift of gab and knows how to talk to people. So you don't mind spending your money with somebody you like. So that's yeah, credit to him. So I'm glad that Tim's doing well with that. I'd like to see him around the wrestling business more often, but I mean, hell, his business keeps him so busy, he does not have time to drive all the way down here from West Virginia. And man, when I tell you Tim lives way up there in West Virginia, he does. Like what, Ronsford? Isn't that where he lives?
No, Union. But he has a store in Ronsford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, finally got it out of the floody part of the city and moved it somewhere else, I think.
Nice. All right. So he doesn't have to worry about water. Yeah, we don't have to. Our new location does not flood. Does not flood.
You do not have to wade through water to see our merchandise.
Yeah.
I remember one day he called me. He's like, "Well, I'm just sitting here watching the river rise, hoping it don't go through the front door." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. That's
anything you do to stop it? Nope, not a thing.
No, there's not much you can do. All right. So Rick Diesel, any we like I said, we're going to probably title this show Off the Rails. Is there anything that you'd like to touch base on before we get out of here?
I do need to ask you, when is next week the Ring of Powers finale?
Yeah, I think they have one more episode.
21st.
Yeah, I think
14th,
so.
I mean, this coming week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they got one
All
more.
right, we've touched on it now. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Hey,
That's the only thing we hadn't done. Oh,
I don't care what those nerds say online, mark it down. I think Adar is Sauron. I know that they're saying he's not, but I really believe that because he gets really pissed off anytime anybody brings up the name Sauron.
well, all I could say is if you're a Marvel nerd, watch Werewolf by Night. It is freaking awesome.
Is that on Disney?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Really
There you
good.
go. Disney Plus, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've done. Hey, since we're selling everybody else's streaming service, visit us over on our Roku channel. Just search AIWF Network, and there's a ton of content there, and more coming every week. So
You might even be able to watch this show on there.
might be able to and watch this train wreck of a talk show.
God almighty, it was, boy. Hey, make sure that you leave comments on it, saying whether or not you liked it, and hit like. What is hit like or stars or whatever on them pod channels?
On the podcast, yeah, you give it 5 stars on your podcast.
Give us a
app.
like, yeah.
Thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, that type of stuff.
And leave a comment of what you thought about it, as Matt calls this train wreck of a show we had tonight.
Yeah, because I mean, when a train goes off the rails, it's a wreck. So
It does with us, boy. Hey, I tell you though, Matt, that's another thing I like about us doing it like this. Nobody knows when we're doing it, so I never know. Somebody just come in my front door.
It was a very Halloween-y type thing to happen right
Yeah.
there. You know, all of a sudden,
Dogs are
everything gets
barking.
quiet. Yeah.
But leave a comment. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's I like it because you don't never know what'll happen. If people know when we're filming it, they try to avoid it. Everybody but Trista. But I mean, you know, but the good thing about it is when they don't know, as you can see tonight, it leads to some interesting content.
It sure did. It's been very interesting. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. And thank you for tuning in this week. We will have hopefully some more news about Fright Night by the time we see you next week. Maybe some match announcements. Who knows what's coming your way? But I know Fright Night's the spookiest show of the year, and who knows what's going to happen. And so it's going to be wild. I've seen a preliminary lineup, maybe what the card might look like if we can get everything signed, all the contracts signed, the I's dotted, the T's crossed, shaping up to be pretty damn good, Rick Diesel. And Rick Diesel looks like he froze.
And we're looking at doing a little something extra for the fans this year if we can pull it off. Not gonna say what it is. You'll see it when you get there.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we'll all be surprised together. So, all right, wrestling fans, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Matt Carter, of course, for Rick Diesel. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week sometime. Don't know when, but we'll see you next week.
We ain't gonna tell you. So maybe I get a phone call.
You'll notice it when your notifications go off. So be sure to ring the bell and like them and set up the notifications on your phone and computer. All right.
Blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, fans, so long for now.